seated, please.
Distinguished guests, university colleagues, industry partners, ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, those of you who are graduating today, welcome. I now call upon Auntie Dawn Blaisley to conduct a welcome to country.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Before we begin this presentation, I would like to acknowledge and pay respect to the traditional owners of this land, the land of the Palawa people. I would like to pay respect to the Torres Strait Islander colleagues, staff, family who are present here today. It is upon Palawa land that we now stand. It is important always to remind ourselves that the country lives in us and we live by drawing strength from the spirit of the land. Always remember, elders in our community, past and present, carry the narratives of our lives and wanting to share their stories and our knowledge with non-Indigenous peoples. We are able to bring a unique perspective and understanding to the world. This unique and historical insight, combined with unselfish intellectual generosity, can only ever result in enriching us all. Thank you so much for inviting me. Bulika.
Thank you, Auntie Dawn. I also extend a welcome to the Honourable Michael Ferguson, MP, Minister for Health, Minister for Information Technology and Innovation, and Leader of the Government Business in the House of Assembly. Body of graduates and diplomats who since 1890 have taken their learning and skills into the community and have applied them to the benefit of humankind, whether it is in Australia or elsewhere in the world. I want to say something about the ceremony in which you are participating today, as it has a history and tradition that can be traced back to the beginnings of universities. There are 4 essential elements to this ceremony: your families and friends and members of the community, the academic staff, you, the graduands, and me, the Deputy Chancellor. Your families and friends and members of the community are here not only to help you celebrate your achievements, but also to be witnesses to the conferral of your awards. This witness function is important, and it dates back to the times when there were few written records. Having witnesses at the graduation ceremony guaranteed there would always be someone who could vouch that you had been admitted to your degree. Secondly, you have seen members of the faculty and staff from the university process into the room, led by the usher of the Black Rod. As an ancient symbol of authority, this ceremonial symbol is a reminder that universities are custodians both of the enduring traditions of learning and of the power they bestow upon those who come to learn. It is also a reminder that the learning process may not have always been comfortable or easy. The procession itself dates back to the earliest traditions of universities, where graduating students and professors would walk through the town so that members of the public would recognise the graduating students and their qualifications. The Chancellor's role is also an essential feature of this ancient ceremony. The Chancellor originally was the representative of the Church, which controlled education until the Reformation. At that time, Henry VIII assumed for the Crown all rights that in England had previously belonged to the Pope. Since then, the Chancellor has been the representative of the state, and he or she wears robes similar to those of the Lord Chancellor of England. As Deputy Chancellor, I will admit you to your degrees or award your diplomas on behalf of the University of Tasmania. This is the actual moment of your graduation. Before that, though, the Chair of Academic Senate, on behalf of the academic staff, will acknowledge that you, the graduands, are qualified to be admitted to your degrees or awarded your diplomas. The Academic Senate is the present-day equivalent of the ancient guilds, who insisted that they were the ones who verified that appropriate standards were met. The Chair of Academic Senate performs that function today. As the ceremony concludes today, you will join us in processing from the room, a public recognition of your status as graduates and diplomats. This is the tradition and formality of graduation. You graduate today from a university that is ranked in the top 2% of universities globally. Just last week, the University of Tasmania was ranked again in the top 300 universities in the world in the academic ranking of world universities, an assessment of the top 1,300 of some 18,000 universities globally. This is a fitting reflection of our commitment to the creation and dissemination of knowledge. The University of Tasmania delivers research with global impact. In the last Excellence in Research in Australia rankings, released in 2015, the university achieved the highest possible rating in 16 specific discipline areas, from geology to human movement. We continue to attract support that places us in the top 10 Australian universities for research income. Our researchers are at the forefront of academic exploration, interrogating some of the most pressing concerns of our nation and indeed the world, whether in health, the environment, science, the arts and culture, or the broader economy. The University of Tasmania, the fourth oldest university in Australia, is also one of the finest teaching universities in the country. The university continues our distinguished performance in the receipt of National Learning and Teaching Awards last year, with 4 of our academics awarded citations in the prestigious Australian Awards for University Teaching. This nationwide peer-reviewed program recognises distinguished endeavour across the breadth of academic disciplines. The importance we place on excellence in teaching and research and providing our students a solid foundation from which to launch their careers is demonstrated in these achievements. These accolades demonstrate not only the university's success, but also signal to the world the high value of your degree. And just as the worth of your qualification is a reflection of the standing of your university, your achievements will also add lustre to the University of Tasmania. Excellence is not just an aspiration at the University of Tasmania, it is something to which we have an unwavering commitment, not only in the spheres of research, teaching and learning, but more broadly in our role as a key community leader and economic driver. The university's motto, Igneus Patuit Campus, or the field is open to talent, captures our spirit. It reflects our vitality and confidence in our identity and openness to communities and the world. You, our graduates, have the talents and skills and expertise that the world needs to ensure a safe, secure and sustainable future. The university has given you the knowledge and tools. They are yours to use. It is to you whom we now look to lead, to imagine and to shape our future. Let me offer a special congratulations to you all. You have the talent. The field is now yours. It is now my pleasure to introduce you to Mark Baker, who will deliver the occasional address this morning. Mark was born in Launceston and completed his Bachelor of Arts at the University of Tasmania in 2002. He became a cadet journalist at the Examiner in 2003 and covered police and court rounds until 2006, when he moved to Hobart as the newspaper's chief political reporter. Returning to Launceston in 2008 as Chief of Staff, he later became Deputy Editor in 2012. During this time, he returned to the University of Tasmania to complete his Master of Arts in Creative Writing. Since 2015, he has been Fairfax Tasmania's Group Managing Editor, with responsibility for both the Examiner and the Advocate newsrooms. He is a Director of the Clifford Craig Foundation, a Trustee of the Tamar Valley Peace Festival, and Trustee of the David Chaplin Memorial Fund. I invite Mark to present the occasional address.
Thank you, Deputy Chancellor, for that introduction. Deputy Chancellor, Provost, distinguished guests, members of the University, graduands, ladies and gentlemen. It is a genuine honour to be delivering an occasional address at this year's ceremony. My role today as a University of Tasmania alumnus is to offer some words of encouragement and perhaps some advice. First, to practical matters, to collect my undergraduate degree. I was quite nervous about not stuffing up the handshake and the bow. Moment, don't rush, give your family a cheeky thumbs up. They are proud of you. Don't do what I did. When you exit the stage, you'll see the low ceiling height. In fact, there is still a sign that warns people to watch their head. I was so concerned about sconning myself and losing my mortarboard that I forgot how to walk downstairs. And I can tell you that tripping so unceremoniously at such an elaborate ceremony is ironic indeed. The second part of the brief was to relay something inspirational, but I make no promises here because it is you who are providing today's inspiration. My story is not dissimilar from many Tasmanians. Both my great-great-great-grandfathers were convicts sent to Van Diemen's Land. On one side, my relative was an Irishman serving in the Peninsular War, where Great Britain and Spain were fighting France in the early 1800s. This forebear broke into a Spanish officer's tent and stole the gold buttons off his dress uniform. While I don't condone stealing, I don't dislike the story, as it hints at the anti-authoritarian nature that informed Australia's character. My other ancestor's story was not as grandiose. He stole a sack, an empty sack, and I don't know what he thought was in the sack or if he really just wanted a sack. So it's somewhat ironic that the Examiner newspaper was founded by a person who fought to end convict transportation. The Reverend John West founded the newspaper in 1842 and devoted many column centimetres to why transportation should cease. Many people today think his motivation was altruistic or egalitarian, focused on freedom and liberty. In truth, West just thought they were messing up the joint. Sorry, John. In 1853, West got his wish with the cessation of convict transportation, and it's always fascinated me to think that had he succeeded sooner, I would not be here. Similarly, I have no doubt that I'd not be here today if not for my studies at the University of Tasmania. I'm sure you will experience the same appreciation as you move from graduands to graduates very shortly. Some will know the distinction between graduate and graduate already. I did not until many years later. There were many things I didn't know when I sat in those seats 15 years ago. And there's so many things that I don't know now, it's quite terrifying. As a journalist, you're taught to avoid cliches, those hackneyed expressions that, in being said so many times, say nothing at all. But I do believe cliches survive because at the core is the truth that spans generations. You've probably heard this one before. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Finding the source of this phrase has proven hard, but if an idea has been so often cited, it must have some degree of verisimilitude. Many of you are at the end of your tertiary studies and at the start of your future, but you must not, and I have no doubt that you are not, at the end of your learning. One of the greatest changes in education is that we no longer complete our learning in a linear manner, characterised by primary, pre-tertiary and tertiary education, followed by 40 years in the same career. We all must be in a constant state of learning, having the courage and confidence to leave the room you're comfortable in and enter the next one that challenges you. It was certainly the case for me when a decade after graduating and working as a journalist, I went back to UTAS and completed a master's degree. There is a phrase I like that has driven my learning journey, and perhaps it is another cliche: no knowledge that is not power. It has its origins in the Latin phrase scientia potentia est, and I apologise to any Latin scholars in the hall for butchering the pronunciation. It was first recorded in Sir Francis Bacon's 1597 work, and Thomas Hobbes used the exact phrase in the Latin edition of Leviathan in 1668. Ralph Waldo Emerson perhaps used it most eloquently in his 1870 essay Old Age, when he wrote, "Skill to do comes of doing. Knowledge comes by eyes always open and working hands, and there is no knowledge that is not power." I didn't know it from any of those esoteric sources. I knew it from pumping the dollar coins I should have spent on my high school lunch into an arcade machine called Mortal Kombat. As a teenager, I first read For Whom the Bell Tolls, not because I knew Ernest Hemingway was one of the best writers to ever put his thoughts on page, but because I heard the opening riff of the Metallica song of the same name and wanted to know more about those men on a hill. The point I make is inspiration for learning can come from many sources, some very obscure indeed. Knowledge is power, but it is not power in the political sense or in a way that makes you better than someone else. It is internal power, the confidence that you do know things, and if there are things you do not know, you know how to learn them. I mentioned before my convict heritage and the Reverend John West. Apart from the cessation of convict transportation, West also advocated for the colonies to have self-determination. The Australian flag is based on a design he came up with while walking down St John Street one evening and seeing the Southern Cross in the sky. He was involved in the formation of the London Agency Association to promote colonial interests, as well as an immigration society, the Mechanics Institute and the City Mission. West played a role in forming a public hospital, General Cemetery, the Cornwall Insurance Company in Launceston and the Hobart Town High School. In 1854, the owner of the Sydney Morning Herald, John Fairfax, invited West to become its first official editor. West's prose is somewhat anachronistic to modern ears, but his words remain very persuasive. In the first editorial published in the Examiner on March 12, 1842, he wrote that the press was the shield of the people, its only shield. That's a nice ideal to value as a journalist, but I don't think it is quite correct. The strongest shields are comprised of many parts, each relying on the strength of the parts around it. The people, therefore, have many shields, and many of them are represented in this audience today. The school teacher who ingrains a love of learning in our next generation is a shield. The architect who designs better areas for our community to congregate is a shield. The business student who creates wealth and investments so our society prospers is a shield. The social worker who improves the lives of the less fortunate is a shield. And the nurse who dedicates his or her career to caring for our sick is a shield. So, wherever your degree takes you today, whatever profession, vocation or calling it sets you on in this life, remember, you will all form a crucial part that strengthens our community. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Mark. I guess for you graduates and others in the audience today, really the importance of what you've actually achieved is something that I think Mark was trying to emphasise for you, and I'm sure that that if it doesn't, if you don't appreciate it now, you will appreciate it more and more as you progress through your lives. But and also continual learning is another theme that came through to me, and I think that's something that we all, no matter how ancient we become, we're still learning, and it's very important. So, Mark, thank you for those messages, and if you'd all join me again in thanking Mark. Shortly I'll be conferring degrees and awarding diplomas. Before we do that, we're to hear a suite of music from the movie Henry V, played for us now by the University Wind Orchestra, led by Mr. Stephen King. Thank you very much to the Wind Orchestra. Whenever I have to come here to preside over these graduation ceremonies, I quite look forward to the music, because this is just an outstanding music venue, in my view. At least in Launceston, very fortunate to have this. I come from Hobart, which is, as you well know, the other end of the island, but we don't have anything like this in Hobart. This is a wonderful, wonderful venue, but also made much better today, I think, by the performance from the Wind Orchestra. So perhaps you'd be good enough to join me in thanking them again. Thank you. I now call upon the Deputy Chair of the Academic Senate, Professor Geraghty, to present candidates for degrees and diplomas.
I call upon candidates for degrees and diplomas to please stand. Deputy Chancellor, I commend to you the candidates whose names are listed in the programme before you for admission to the degrees and for the award of the diplomas shown. They have completed all requirements for their awards to the satisfaction of the Academic Senate.
By virtue of the authority vested in my office, I admit you and the candidates in absentia, as listed in the programme before me, to the degrees and award the diplomas for which you and they have qualified.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join with me in congratulating the new graduates. Graduates and diplomats, please be seated. Deputy Chancellor, the Deans or their representatives will now present the graduates and diplomats to you.
I call upon Professor Bowes, the Principal of the Australian Maritime College, to present the graduates and diplomats from the college.
Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Applied Science, Marine Engineering, Imrul Hasnat Chowdhury. Ahmed Imtiaz. Sheikh Mahbubur Rahman. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Applied Science, Marine Environment, Jason Borizichka. Alan Brooks. Alexander Christopher Lee. Tana Simone McCarthy. Edon Kiera O'Dwyer. Felix Shields Beck Swindale. Delia Tan. Jiashu Sean Gabriel Wee. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Applied Science, Nautical Science. Mohammed Salem Abdullah Ali Al-Mesabi. Harinandan Gopalakrishnan. Mohammed Abu Bakr Siddiq. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Business, Maritime and Logistics Management. Nur Amalia Azmi. Suhaimi bin Zakaria. Luke Stephen Blythe. Rishab Tinuvai Gandhi. Muhammad Hyrul bin Jamal. Muhammad Faiz Kamarul Zaman. Mei-Chi Lee. Fatin Atiyah Muhammad Sidek. Jeongwang Park. Thomas Andrew Robinson. Haris Fadhila Sharil. Vidya Sunta. Yunshang Tan. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering, Marine and Offshore Engineering. Darshan Ranjit. Cheng Shu. Gorui Zhang. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering, Marine and Offshore Engineering Honours. Kan Voon Ng. Davinder Singh. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering, Naval Architecture. Ji Wan King. Mohammed Awis Al-Khani Mohammed Aidid. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering, Naval Architecture with honours. Jingna Liu. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering, Ocean Engineering Honours, Bridget Zoe Alexandra Gimple. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering, Ocean Engineering Honours with First Class Honours, Tobias Mark Aldridge. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the diplomat to whom you have awarded the Graduate Certificate in Applied Science, Marine Environment, Gareth Stephen Edwards. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the diplomat to whom you have awarded the Graduate Certificate in Maritime and Logistics Management, Dylan James Walker. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the diplomat to whom you have awarded the Graduate Certificate in Maritime and Logistics Management and the Bachelor of Business, Maritime and Logistics Management, Caleb D. Lee Dunn. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Applied Science, Marine Environment, Xiao Yi Wang. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Applied Science, Maritime Environment with honours, Maria Gracia Carrasco Rodriguez. Bhargav Subhashchandra Patel. Simon Andres Soroet. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Applied Science, Maritime Safety, Quintin Anthony Robin Lloyd. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Business Administration, Advanced Maritime and Logistics Management, Nisiong Matthew Akpan. Bestman Ude Mezui Ude. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Business Administration, Maritime Technology and Management, Brian Humphreys. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Engineering, Maritime Design, Harun Son. Yufei Wang. Kai Chun Wu. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Maritime Studies, Liang Zhang. Deputy Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates and diplomats in the Australian Maritime College.
I call upon Associate Professor Swaby, the Dean of the Faculty of Education, to present graduates and diplomats in the College of Arts, Law and Education.
Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the diplomat to whom you have awarded the Diploma of University Studies in Arts, Kylie Louise Baumbach. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the Associate Degree in Arts, Jodie Duncan. Nathan Slater. Marilyn Janet Theisel. Elma Van Breda. Robert Craig Woodrow. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Kendall Rose Boyd. Shelley Marie Cooper. Amelia Ingrid Durham. Henry Patrick Francis Gamage. Jeannie Marie Harris. Sarah Kate Hooper. Marcus Allen Johnston. Olivia Brenner King. Belanco Emmanuel Laloa. Laura Kim Moore. David James Pinkard. Ashlyn Faith Williams. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Professional Honours, Human Services Practice, Janine Marie Brown. Mark Dickinson. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Contemporary Arts, Brendan Dalton Everett. Leah Afra Liebesbach. Samantha Janita McNamara. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Social Science, Caitlin Rose Graham. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Social Science in Police Studies, Matthew Shea. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Social Work, Agnes Mandera Sestilio. Deputy Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates and diplomats in the College of Arts. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates and diplomats whom you have admitted to degrees and awarded diplomas in the Faculty of Education. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the diplomat to whom you have awarded the Diploma of Education Support, Bernadette Isabel French. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the diplomat to whom you have awarded the Diploma of University Studies, Education, Rachel Jane Mackenzie Bloom. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the Associate Degree Education Support, Tanya Elizabeth Spilling. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Education, Kylie Jane Allen. Cindy Marie Skirving. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Education, Early Childhood, Amanda Jane Burgess. Megan Crystal Jacobson. Chantel Kathleen Kane. Julie Lee Purdon. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Education, Health and Physical Education, Erin Johnson. Kim Cherie Richards. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Education, Health and Physical Education and Outdoor Education, Richard William Cowlard. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Education, Primary, Lauren Kate Brincat. Rebecca Emily Cohen. Annabelle Marie Dixon. Cameron John Downey. Bronwyn Grace Enright. Rebecca Jane Fox. Christine Emily Hudson. Dean Hans-Peter Kasper. Gaia Thiri Kunisgaran. Georgia Rose McCormack. Emma Grace McMahon. Laura Patricia Middleton. Tegan Lynette Morelli. Claire Cordell Wilson. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Education with Professional Honours, Linda Marie Allwright. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Education with Professional Honours, Higher Education, Nicholas John Towell. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Education with Professional Honours in the field of teaching English to speakers of other languages, Jan Glushik. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the diplomate to whom you have awarded the Graduate Certificate in Education Early Childhood, Emily Hazel Suter. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those diplomates to whom you have awarded the Graduate Certificate in Education Inclusive Education, Michelle Burke. Bradley James Colson. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those diplomates to whom you have awarded the Graduate Certificate in Education in the field of teaching English to speakers of other languages, Anne Botting. Raquel Santos Ruida Morano West. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those diplomates to whom you have awarded the Graduate Certificate of Education, Cherie Gay Hodgetts. Amanda Jane Von Schill. Lisa Margaret Smith. Paul William White. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Teaching, Megan Ruth Anderson. Helena Pearl McKean. Deputy Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates and diplomats in the Faculty of Education.
I call upon Dr. Seen, representing the Dean of the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Technology, to present graduates and diplomats in that faculty.
Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Applied Science, Environmental Science. Ryan Ben Burrows. Matthew William Tedford. Reuben Paul White. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Computing. Matthew Raymond John White. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the combined degree of Bachelor of Computing and Bachelor of Information Systems, Reuben Derek Blaker. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Information and Communication Technology, Nicholas Foote. Shu Wang. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Deborah Michelle Osterhager, whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Marine Science with First Class Honours. Ms Osterhager has been awarded a University Medal, the highest academic award to an undergraduate student. I ask you, sir, to present the University Medal to Deborah Michelle Osterhager. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Jake Rex Albert Crisp. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the diplomat to whom you have awarded the Graduate Certificate in Timber, Processing and Building, Louis Thomas Whitehead. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the diplomat to whom you have awarded the Graduate Diploma of Environmental Planning, Andrew Mark Smith. Deputy Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates and diplomats in the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Technology.
Call upon Associate Professor Grimmer, the Deputy Dean of the Tasmanian School of Business and Economics, to present graduates and diplomats in that school.
Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Business, Nathan Allen Bester. Kimberly Jane Dickinson. Fu Yang Do. Daniel Gibbons. Natasha Anna Ioannidis. Amanda Lee James. Thomas Patrick Loon. Emily Lyon. Amy Lee Robinson. Elizabeth Ellen Rogers. Timothy James Rowe. Emily Kate Stagg. Alex William Suter. Kelsey Grace Thomas. Kate Olive Walker. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the diplomate to whom you have awarded the Graduate Diploma of Business Administration, Viroti Banerjee. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Business, Elizabeth Mary Frankham. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduate whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Health Service Management, Suman Kaki. Deputy Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates and diplomates in the Tasmanian School of Business and Economics.
I now call upon Professor Baldock, the Dean of Graduate Research, to present those graduates who qualified for research higher degrees in graduate research.
Deputy Chancellor, along with teaching, research is one of the major activities of the University of Tasmania. The university is ranked among the top research-intensive universities within Australia, and the strength and diversity of our research is reflected in our consistent world-class performance across a breadth of disciplines. Our high degree graduate research students make a significant contribution to our research activities through the generation of new knowledge through analysis, innovation and insight using state-of-the-art research facilities and a truly multidisciplinary approach. Through the application of that knowledge, our research students contribute to the solution of real-world problems and to the improvement of our communities and citizens' well-being. Deputy Chancellor, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the new high degree graduate research students to you. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you those graduates whom you have awarded the degree of Master of Fine Arts. Jessica Florence Doriloff. Grace Claire Roberts. Jennifer Margaret Brown. Deputy Chancellor, you have admitted Jennifer Margaret Brown to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Brown's practice-led arts inquiry investigated concepts and practices of projection mapping light images onto architectural facades after dark, with a view to discovering specific ways in which contemporary expressions of this form of public art impact on experience of place. Deputy Chancellor Dr. Jennifer Margaret Brown. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Junlin Chong. Dr. Chong evaluated the barriers to higher education encountered by vocational students from low socio-economic background. Dr. Chong constructed 5 strategies to improve these students' opportunities to attain higher education. Deputy Chancellor Dr. Junlin Chong. Deputy Chancellor, you have admitted Dr. Dale James Cook to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Cook investigated how a not-for-profit food banking organisation succeeds in business growth terms by integrating itself into a for-profit supply chain. He developed a model of integration processes to evaluate and review the social mission. Deputy Chancellor, Dr. Dale James Cook. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Peter Zakan Fanam. Dr. Fanam examined the competitiveness of container shipping companies. He found 6 critical factors that affect the competitiveness of the ocean container carriers. Shipping companies can use these critical factors as marketing strategies to increase their market share. Deputy Chancellor, Dr. Peter Zakan Fanam. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Rabiul Islam. Dr. Islam studied human reliability assessment for the maintenance operations of marine systems. His research will assist in better understanding accident causation and developing strategies to minimise human error probabilities. Deputy Chancellor, Dr. Rabiul Islam. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Ian Marcy Kidd. Dr. Kidd researched how the unique tides of the upper Tamar River distribute silt. He developed a simple model to predict the success or failure of remediation projects ranging from barrages to new waterways and storages. Deputy Chancellor, Dr. Ian Marcy Kidd. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Hima Rosheni Mustafa. Dr. Mustafa investigated how a Malaysian Facebook group provided support for parents of children with autism spectrum disorder. She found that interactions on Facebook offered both a symbolic and practical system of support and increased their confidence as parents. Deputy Chancellor, Dr. Hima Rosheni Mustafa. Deputy Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Adnan Satayarian. Dr. Satarian implemented a reflective action research model to design a constructively aligned short writing course for English learners. His findings contributed to both practical and theoretical aspects of the design and development of curricula for all EAL writing courses. Deputy Chancellor, Dr. Adnan Satarian. Deputy Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of high degree graduates in graduate research.
It's now my pleasure to introduce you to Yun Shang Tan, who graduated this morning with Bachelor of Business, Maritime and Logistics Management. Ms Tan will now give the valedictory address on behalf of the cohort of students graduating today.
Thank you for the introduction. A very good afternoon to the Deputy Chancellor, academic staff, distinguished guests, alumni, ladies, gentlemen, and most of all, our fellow graduates. It's a great honor and also a huge challenge to be representing such a diverse group that is the class of winter 2017. Thank you for having me. First of all, congratulations to all graduates, friends, and family. We've made it. We've made it to the finishing line, the day we've been counting down to since day one. The day we look even more forward to in the late nights when we're cracking our heads on this assignment that seemed impossible to complete. But here we are, celebrating our achievements with the people around us, the people who made it possible. Be it our friends and family who've been cheering on for us, lecturers and tutors who've been guiding us, and our unimates. Look to your left and to your right. These are the people who's gone through the same journey as you. They were there burning the midnight oil with you in the library, in the crowded library, and were ready to give you a boost when you struggle. The uni experience has been an amusing one. Everyone has it differently. Based on my observation, some of you were active in sports clubs and societies, while others work hard to support themselves and pay for tuition fees. Meanwhile, we have some of us who prefers partying the nights away, some nights away. Some, like myself, are three of the above. I was committed to the Tasmanian Uni Volleyball Club, and we play 3 days a week, both on campus and off campus. On other days, my teammates and I managed the club and participated in tournaments within and outside of Tasmania, multiple times a year. On top of that, I work part-time at Sushi Bento, and I still get to hang out with my friends. This is the life of many of you in uni, and I have no idea how we managed to do all these while trying to keep up with our grades. I guess if there's one skill we learn in uni, that would be time management. Yes, it would be much easier to maintain our grades by avoiding all commitments, but we still chose to participate. That's because we know it's the commitment, a combination of all these commitments, that makes the uni experience a memorable and a fruitful one. While our parents might think we spend a lot of time as students studying or partying, in reality, we actually spend a lot of time in the kitchen, being lost. A common challenge I'm sure all of you face in uni is to live independently. We learn how to work the stove and the oven in the kitchen, praying that the outcome will be close to edible. I know I have. We also spend time wondering why our clothes come out different when we first put them into the laundry. We also slowly become adults by handling paperwork, arranging our own accommodation, and managing our own taxes. Sometimes we fail to adult. We get homesick. But lucky for us, UTAS, along with its clubs and societies, provided us with lots of distractions. We've participated in road trips, lazy Sundays, free cooking classes, multicultural night, bubble soccer events, and parties by the Seafarers Bar, and the list goes on. Looking back at the moments, there were many wonderful memories. And of course, we've met many people in the events that became permanent parts of our lives. Just as promised, time flew by. Just when we finally get the hang of referencing, or when we finally get to know our course mates a little better, it's come to an end. We came here alone from not knowing anyone to making friends, building relationships, and forming a whole new family here in Tasmania. Moreover, think how far we've gone as a student, as a future professional, and as individuals. We've conquered many obstacles to be here with passion, commitment, and determination. So today marks the end of our degree. However, as cliche as it sounds, it's not the destination. It's a milestone we achieve, but it doesn't define our success. So class of winter 2017, remember that graduation is just the beginning of your journey to achieving life goals. And education is just a stepping stone towards success. So don't stop here. In the future, most of you will be joining the workforce, and some pursue a postgraduate degree. Whatever you'll be doing, I want you to remember the sense of victory you feel today, and especially the help you get to get here. So when you're back out there, instill a mindset to constantly improving not only yourself, but others too. They say students are the leaders of tomorrow, and true leaders march forward with their army. Guide those who are in need so that your team develops as you do, as a professional and as a person. That way, you and your army will grow and become stronger battle after battle. And you'll always have a better version of them with you in many more battles to come. Finally, I'm sure today is the first of many proud and successful moments for all of you. With that, I say congratulations to all graduates, best wishes in your next adventure, and thanks to all those who helped us get here. Thanks again for having me.
Thank you very much for those words, and the clear emphasis for me was on the help and assistance and that has been provided to you all through your education. So I'd now like to give you all the opportunity, and I'm sure there are people in the hall, parents, friends, loved ones, staff and academics here who've helped you during your studies. I invite the graduates and diplomates to stand and thank all those people in the normal manner, and you can turn around and do whatever you want to. So I advise you to, advise you to be upstanding and thank them in the normal manner. You'll be pleased to hear that just about wraps it up, but I just want to take a little time to just remind people of the graduates that when you leave the ceremony, you're not leaving the university, and as alumni of the university, you've joined the university community, and I urge you to keep in touch. The alumni page in your copy of the graduation program is a guide to what we have to share with you. I now invite you and your family and guests to refreshments at the Academy of the Arts at the Inverness campus. I ask you all to stand while the procession retires and invite you to follow us.